Hi, Mr. Dell.
Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you. It's very good to put a name or a face to the name. I've heard a lot about you, and I know you've been using All Talent for a while.
Correct.
Can you tell us a little more about getting into All Talent and how that has helped solve some of your problems?
Sure. So it started out with a conversation with one of the representatives of All Talents, a gentleman named Sadiq. We had an organic conversation that had nothing to do with the industry, and then we just naturally progressed and migrated over to our industry and some of the deficits that I experienced as an employee or employer rather. And then we started talking about some of the services offered. And then what I found was the way everything dovetails into one another, it resonated with me. And I saw the deficits slowly getting filled just from that conversation. And I saw a bigger picture. I just had to figure out, because I'm not traditional with remote staff or remote workers, so I had to learn prior to even beginning that process of what my needs were to fit or fulfill the needs of a remote staff member first. So that was my primary concern. Once that got figured out, and even then, we're still always going to learn. But once that got figured out, then we took that leap of faith, took on the first. And now, as you know, we're up to 8. Just because, and it's filling in AR, personal assisting, estimate writing, administrative roles, and such. So it really does resonate and work and fills that void that traditionally was a struggle when you're looking for local staff.
That's a very lovely story. Now, can you tell me how that has actually transformed or how that has caused a shift in your business?
It allows for scalability because now what happens is it frees up the local talent that have to be boots on the ground. It allows us to migrate and automate some of the electronic work, the interaction from the online space, the email communications, the AR component. Having a personal assistant, we didn't know you needed one until you had one. All of a sudden now you know, it's like, how do I live without one? You know? So we find and fill the voids that appear organically. So how does it help? It's going to definitely help us scale because we're currently 3 offices and we're probably going to be 6 within a year.
Wow, that's great. Now, would you say that the accent has been a problem? How to be able to break that challenge? Because knowing that
The accent?
Yes, the accent.
Not in the space that we're in because we're in the tri-state New York area. So there's a lot of diversity. There's a lot of human nature there. There's a lot of different cultures. So because of where I am, it's more niche to this. It embraces all cultures. So typically I don't see that. And if there was a harsh or hard to learn accent, we will communicate with our own teams and say, how do we help you articulate and overemphasize the words that you're choosing to use? And that's what we do.
Okay. So if you're going to tell someone about All Talent, what would you say about the person?
I've kind of been sharing these stories today as well. Again, it allows freedom. That's the best key I can give you. It's a freedom. It allows, again, to scale, and it allows the ability to see something else. So, I like to find and make a network, and others are taking over some of the grind of my everyday role to allow me different brain power to try and think of the direction of the business. Because now I'm more in line of managing the business as opposed to managing the projects. Because really, it's the minutes that matter.
That's true.
So I have to be mindful of my process, and that's really where I go.
So you've talked about scalability, and I'm loving the conversation. I wouldn't want to take too much of your time. I am super thrilled that you're able to ride with us on this journey. All Talent is a fast-growing company, and we are learning as we go. We are fine-tuning, getting the fine details of where we make mistakes, and correct, go as we grow. Your input has been very great, and we're going to run with everything you have just told us today. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.